기출예제. 다음 상황 설명을 듣고 매건이 필립에게 할 말로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Philip goes to a bookstore to buy a recently published book titled The Psychology of Everyday Affairs. While Philip is looking for the book, he happens to see an advertisement poster on the wall. It says that if people sign up for a membership, they can get a 10% discount on the books. At the counter, he meets Megan, who works at the bookstore. He tells her that he wants to become a bookstore member to get a discount on the book. However, Megan knows that the membership discount is only for books that were published more than a year ago. Even though Megan doesn't want to disappoint Philip, she has to tell him that he cannot get the discount on the book he wants to buy. In this situation, what would Megan most likely say to Philip?
(1번) 다음 상황 설명을 듣고 미스터 오웬스가 린에게 할 말로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Lynn is on her school's girls' soccer team, and Mr. Owens is the team's coach. Lynn is the best goal scorer on the team. After the regular season, they advance to the final. Lynn is determined to score the winning goal for her team. In the first half of the game, there are many situations where Lynn tries too hard to score on her own instead of passing the ball to teammates who are in better positions to score. When the first half ends, the score is 0-0. During halftime, Mr. Owens wants to advise Lynn to pass more rather than trying to score by herself. In this situation, what would Mr. Owens most likely say to Lynn?
(2번) 다음 상황 설명을 듣고 미즈 화이트가 야영객에게 할 말로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Ms. White has worked as a national park manager for a long time. Recently, as many people have become interested in camping, the number of visitors to the park has increased, so she has more work to do. She believes that it's a good thing that more people are enjoying nature, but she's worried because there are more and more people not following the park rules. One day, while driving around the park, Ms. White sees a camper trying to make a fire, which is against the park rules. So she wants to inform the camper of the rules. In this situation, what would Ms. White most likely say to the camper?
(3번) 다음 상황 설명을 듣고 케빈이 리사에게 할 말로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Kevin is working part-time at a small cafe. One day, one of his friends, Lisa, comes to the cafe as a customer. She tells Kevin she's going to study at the cafe. After she orders and gets her coffee, she sits down at a table and starts to study. A few minutes later, her phone rings and she starts to have a phone conversation. During the conversation, she starts talking louder, which begins to bother the other customers in the cafe. Kevin notices that some customers start looking at Lisa, annoyed. So, Kevin wants to kindly tell Lisa to speak more quietly on the phone. In this situation, what would Kevin most likely say to Lisa?
(4번) 다음 상황 설명을 듣고 미즈 파커가 탐에게 할 말로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Ms. Parker is Tom's homeroom teacher. She is worried about Tom because he's always late for school in the morning. She has a talk with Tom and finds out he has a problem waking up early in the morning. Even though he uses his smartphone as an alarm clock, he always turns it off and falls right back asleep. Ms. Parker asks Tom when he usually goes to sleep, and he says he stays up playing computer games late at night until 1 a.m. Ms. Parker thinks that's the problem. She thinks that since Tom is going to bed too late at night, he has trouble waking up early. So, she wants to tell Tom that he should go to bed earlier than now to get up earlier the next morning. In this situation, what would Miss Parker most likely say to Tom?
(5번) 다음 상황 설명을 듣고 매튜가 신디에게 할 말로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Matthew and Cindy work in the same department at an electronics company. Today, they have a lot of work to do to prepare for a promotional event tomorrow. They end up working overtime until late and are finally ready to go back home around 10 p.m. Cindy is going to drive home, and she is aware that Matthew will take the subway back home. So, Cindy offers Matthew a ride to his home, which is about a 20-minute drive from her place. But Matthew doesn't want to bother Cindy because he knows that she is tired. So, he wants to tell Cindy that although he appreciates her offer, he'd like to take the subway instead. In this situation, what would Matthew most likely say to Cindy?
(6번) 다음 상황 설명을 듣고 나오미가 윌리엄에게 할 말로 가장 적절한 것을 고르시오.
Naomi is a high school student. Nowadays, she feels physically weaker overall. She often feels tired and can't concentrate on her schoolwork. One day, she tells one of her close friends, William, about her concern. After hearing this, William advises her to exercise regularly to stay healthy. Naomi agrees with him and decides to go jogging every day in the playground during lunchtime. She also thinks that it will be better if William jogs with her for his health too. So, Naomi wants to suggest to William that he join her daily workout. In this situation, what would Naomi most likely say to William?